Phones are lit, man.
Well, you know what? Oh, maybe they won't release the photos because they don't exist.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry, I'm just reading.
Oh, God.
My friend Troy Kwan's Twitter.
Could Troy Kwan here?
I love Troy.
I follow Troy Kwan on Twitter. He tweeted this. Maybe they won't release the photos because they don't exist.
No, I'm just...
Where's Troy?
Yeah. That's what I have to realize with Troy is I like Troy's my friend, so I have to let my friend think what he thinks.
He's got questions, though.
Yeah, he's my friend. And
Troy Kwan, everyone.
Conspiracy.
Hi, Troy.
Speak your mind, sir. You don't think there's photos of Osama Bin Laden dead?
I mean, I don't know. Do you know for sure? You're told, right?
Who tells us?
Well, the government's released saying that they're out there. Well, let's see them.
Did we kill Osama Bin Laden a few days ago?
Did we?
Did we? Yes.
Well, they're saying we did. I want to see the pictures.
His daughter said we did.
They did this.
His own daughter said.
This guy orchestrated 9/11 on our soil. Worst terrorist act on our soil. I want justification. I want to see a bullet in that motherfucker's head.
Sure.
Hold on. You're being hypocritical, though, because you think the government did 9/11, so why would it matter?
No, I didn't say that. I said that they may have been involved with it.
You kind of think.
I never said that
the government has a big involvement in 9/11.
I said that they may have had something to do with it.
All right,
maybe they let it go.
So then Osama Bin Laden should not mean anything to you then, if you think the government...
Well, I mean,
might
everybody
have
thinks
something to do
he's
with,
the boogeyman. He's the bad guy. Let's see it. He's the one responsible for it. Let's see. I want to see a bullet in that motherfucker's head.
Does it affect your... I agree.
Wait, but we all agree. But you want to see the pictures because you don't really think that he's dead or that the pictures exist. That's the difference.
Well,
his daughter is saying that they killed him. Like, it's 100% confirmed because people who were there... Who we should have had choppered out but couldn't because the fucking chopper crashed, so they had to pick and choose who they brought.
But did she say that? I'll play Troy Kwan's.
That's not coming from our media. That's coming from the Pakistanis.
Well, where's that audio? I want to see that. I want to hear that.
Okay, I'm sure we could probably get that.
Now,
or the statement. That's coming from the Pakistanis.
Was released though, wouldn't then the focus switch to? Well, I don't believe the validity of these pictures.
I mean, it depends what the pictures look like. You know. I mean, I'm not the one that always has to say, okay, this is what I've been told. Automatically, this is the truth.
Agreed.
So, I just want to see them. That's all. And maybe they're, you know.
Yeah, but you tweeted because they don't exist.
Well, I like seeing people's reactions to when I say shit like that because they get angry. It's like almost like they're angry at me for not automatically believing what I'm told right away. People are like, "Fuck you for believing that." Fuck you, and it's like. Well,
I personally can't prove that they exist. I just have a strong feeling they do.
Okay,
but that's not why I disagree. I don't think that you're wrong to not believe what you're. I think conspiracy theorists sometimes think that because that's their way of feeling like they're not being irrational. I don't just believe what I'm told like a moron or get mad at a conspiracy because that almost says. Conspiracy theorists are going, we're never being irrational. They're just mad because we don't march in the same line. That's not true.
Man.
That's 100% justifying the way they feel and 100% making anyone who thinks that the government did tell them the truth about something is an idiot. It's not right. That's not why I disagree with conspiracy theorists or why they annoy me. It's because they ignore all evidence that goes against making something a conspiracy and they take one little granule of evidence or weird anomaly
like
and
this,
make that evidence.
Like this.
That's why they annoy me.
Like this. This plays
piece.
right into the conspiracy guys.
Like
that the photos aren't being released.
But again, there are people on the other side of that say that just believe, yes, this is what happened, but there are big things missing from that puzzle where you go, they look past that. Like, I hate bringing this up because we've gone down this road before, but 9/11, there's video missing of the planes crashing into the Pentagon. So why can't, why do you look past that?
Because I've seen video that was right there at the Pentagon. Last night, as a matter of fact, on Smithsonian Channel, I saw a program where there was a videographer was right there on scene. Thing is smoldering and showed a piece of aluminum from a plane with a big C, red C, silver background, American airline. It was a fucking plane.
Right. And all the pictures, when you go to those pictures, there's a piece of aluminum sitting out in the yard. There's nothing of any sort of signs of a plane that have crashed into the Pentagon from all those pictures. It's completely eviscerated. It's gone. It's gone. Just like the black boxes, just like...
That's kind of what happens in a lot of these plane crashes.
Black boxes aren't made... People think black boxes are indestructible. They're not. And they're made for for 99% of plane crashes, they're recoverable. But when you take a plane full throttle into a cement wall, the black box isn't going to survive. It's not made of fucking some adamantium.
Right.
Did you ever see footage?
And there's two of them, but yet a passport.
Did you ever see footage? Yeah, but you're looking at, again, a lot of paper made it out.
But see, there's just little things. There's just like
paper.
See what I'm
it
saying,
rained
though?
paper for fucking hours.
They take any anomaly, any weird thing.
Right.
You avoid video evidence of two planes crashing into those buildings.
Yeah.
And hang on to the fact that something odd, which it is
something
an odd
just
piece.
doesn't make sense in my head.
Paper will not have as much kinetic energy in it, by the way, as something with more mass to it. So paper actually has a better chance of surviving, unless it's burnt up, in an impact than something heavier. It's physics.
But you're crashing into a building. There's an explosion.
Yeah. A lot of paper.
From the impact. The passport's probably with the guy in the cockpit or close to it.
First of all, the explosion is behind the cockpit.
I mean, how much room is between the cockpit
behind the cockpit?
And where but it was still where the impact
that thing
was.
doing about 300 fucking miles an hour.
Doing more than that.
Believe me,
600.
That thing will fucking fly forward. Everything will go forward. The fire will start at the wings and behind the wings. And a passport could absolutely survive.
It was, and do they think about it? If it's a plant, why would you plant it? Like it's such an odd piece of evidence. Right. Who the fuck would go? Yeah, the plane crashed into the building. Let's slip the passport down here on Vesey Street.
Yeah.
It's too All they had to do, again, if they're going to go through all that trouble, they found the car with Korans and all the plans in it.
Yeah,
just leave a note in there, like.
Right.
This is what drives me crazy. The conspiracy guys will ignore video evidence to take that anomaly, which no investigator making a plant would fucking make. No investigator who's setting this up would do that as the towers are collapsed. It's an impossibility.
Right.
That they would plant something. Because, again, it's such a weird thing. People are going to go, how the fuck did this get here? Mm-hmm. No one looks at that alone and goes, aha, that's how we know Muhammad Atta was the...
Right.
You know, come on, man. It's just a crazy thing to do.
No, I mean, there's other instances of things that just don't line up, so that it puts that shadow of doubt in your mind. For me, it's not a clear.
By the way, look at the paper and stuff blowing in.
There's just a shitload of paper.
Yeah, but that's from other floors. Yeah. I mean, it's something inside the plane.
No, man, there was the paper from those floors and above. Fucking, it started raining down on the street, man.
Yeah.
Were you here?
This is horrifying.
Were you around for 9/11?
Yeah, really.
I was in Pennsylvania. I was living in Pennsylvania.
All right, well, we lived here. We saw it raining paper.
No, and it's clear on the
raining
video.
paper for hours because of the wind.
I didn't have to be
in
New York City to see it raining paper.
It was just blowing around. Didn't some of the paper make it to Brooklyn, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, I saw.
I don't know.
Yep, did absolutely.
No, I mean, it's things like this where you go, hey. You know, it puts a shadow of a doubt in your mind that, hey, maybe it's not exactly like it's been told.
And as far as video evidence, back in 2001, we all didn't have cameras on our phones. There was only two or three videos of the planes hitting.
No, the first one, there was two.
Yeah.
One that they knew they had, and one that surfaced a year later. A guy almost erased it.
Right, and then the second one, obviously, everyone had because the news crews were on the scene. You know, but we weren't all just walking around with cameras. It was a lot harder to capture shit back then. Believe it or not. And the Pentagon is not a place where people just hanging out with video cameras.
Right. Well, hey.
It's like a perfect example, if we're just talking about like the government. Yeah, okay, we don't have to trust the government. But then one of Bin Laden's daughters, through Pakistani news agencies, has said he's dead.
Okay.
And it's like, but the conspiracy guys plow over it. It's almost like something in their mind, because that will kind of go again. It doesn't allow them to really weigh that and go, that is a real thing. If Bin Laden's daughter, who hates us, is saying he was killed, that's a...
But, you know, when they...
It would help their cause to say the U.S. did not get him.
When they don't show the pictures...
That would rally a lot of people. Like, he survived the United States trying to take him out, and we know for a fact he's not dead and he's somewhere else now. That would be an amazing victory for that side.
But that's why conspiracy theorists...
And no one is saying that.
It has nothing to do with the fact that they're not buying what they're told. That's not why they annoy me at all. And you can't shortchange that. It is simply because, you know, you mentioned Bin Laden's daughter coming through Pakistani, which is not our media. It's not our government. They're radical Muslims, most of them. They hate us, and they're saying it.
Yeah.
And that's still not enough. Well, what about there's always the pictures. And if the pictures come out, there will be a problem with the pictures because the goal is to make it a conspiracy, not to find out what the truth is.
The goal is always to make it a conspiracy.
Absolutely.
God, I love that.
Here's what I was thinking.
You're right, Jimmy.
They don't release the pictures because the wound over his eye is an exit wound. All right. No, I haven't heard that one brought up yet. Maybe he was fucking executed like that, huh?
Now, Troy, you tweeted that because they don't exist, but you said you wrote that to fuck with people.
I like seeing people's reactions to it because.
All right,
you have to believe exactly what you're told when you're told it on the television.
Don't answer my question with a question. Do you believe there's death photos of Osama Bin Laden?
I'd like to believe there are.
But do you?
Do you? Yes or no?
I'm having a hard time. But I'm skeptical about everything.
I believe
I'm skeptical about everything. When you,
I believe it, but I can't prove it to you, obviously.
When you don't show the
Just
photos.
say you don't believe it.
I told you, I'm having a hard time believing it. When you don't show the photos and you dispose of the body real quick, it's going to raise some questions, especially with people that are skeptical.
Well, they didn't want to piss off Islam.
Well,
so
if you think,
according to tradition, they did what is proper.
So when you
I'm sure
question,
they weren't happy about it, and I'm sure it wasn't a nice fucking funeral, by the way, on the ship.
When you question,
they want to make it out to be. It was a shitty 40 minutes of probably a lot of booing going on from up top. I love how they make it sound like it was a movie funeral. Trust me, I guarantee that didn't happen. Go ahead, Troy. Sorry.
They're showing other things from the air, from some of the planes that hit the World Trade Center.
Oh, you're pointing to that. You can't carry that over put it in a van?
Oh, stop.
But wait, what are you saying when you put
when you question the intent of a lot of the moves of our government?
No.
When things happen like this, where there's big holes missing, you have to.
But what is
people question it?
But Troy, what does that have to you say that? But what does our government have to do with Bin Laden's daughter saying to Pakistani authorities that they killed her father?
Is she in on it?
Like, now, how does that? But
do we pay her off to say
happens,
that?
What happens if you're like, look, we'll take care of you for the rest of your life, your family for the rest of their life?
Do you really? First of all, he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire, Bin Laden. She had access to Bin Laden's money. She didn't turn him in for the $27 million reward money, so all of a sudden she's going to lie. It doesn't make sense. That's an impossibility that somebody that close to him turned him in.
Like I said, when there's big pieces of the puzzle missing.
But there aren't.
You quit.
There really aren't.
The photos, that's not a big piece of the puzzle?
No, for our curiosity.
Having the body exposed within 24 hours and dumped in the ocean is not a big piece of the puzzle?
For our vengeance, and I agree with you, yeah. But I don't think the president is on television lying, saying that he saw the photos. I just don't think he's doing that. Because if it was that easy, then Bush would have done it and fucking made himself look a lot better because his legacy is horrendous. I don't believe that the president is on TV lying about having seen Bin Laden's. But the magnitude of that, if it came out, is a scandal that you can't. It's impossible.
Wants to be reelected. That's a big chance to take.
I do believe him. I do not like the decision because I have the same thing. But why don't you just admit to yourself at least, I'm fucking angry because I want to see it. And it's almost like when parents say we can't do something, we're like, okay, well, then I'll hold my breath. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what it is. He's not giving us our way. So the thing is, well, I bet you don't have him. I bet you don't have him. When deep down, does it make sense to you that Obama, I guess because there's a long line of liars, but you think Obama's just sitting on TV saying, yes, I've seen the photos, and yes, it was him? Like,
we've been lied to before, Jim.
Okay.
We've been lied to before.
Yeah, that's your stance.
All right,
yeah.
We're not going to change.
Just know for yourself that the conspiracy stuff is not just the incident. It's important to you to make it a conspiracy for some reason because it satisfies some other need.
And I'm not. I told you before, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm skeptical of the intentions of a lot of moves our government makes.
What do you think that? What do you disagree with on conspiracy theorists? Like, what conspiracy do you think actually wasn't a conspiracy theory that they were wrong about?
Well, I mean, I occasionally listen to Alex Jones, and he comes up with a lot of ridiculous shit, and you're just like,
he sucks.
No, he doesn't suck. I mean, I find him
sucks.
I find him entertaining.
We should get a piece of his audio every fucking day, and we'll fucking blow holes through it.
Well,
like the other day with that Madeleine Albright horse shit. Being a radio guy, we know a lot more than we know a lot about radio than the person listening to us right now. You play the audio. You just don't say that she said that.
Well, then it came out that she said it backstage to a guy. I know he's taking that out of context.
That would hammer his fucking point home, but he knows that the audio doesn't exist, so he fucking blew by it.
Well, and
then dummies believe what he's saying. He sucks.
That's why I think he's great when he's on the show with you guys, because you guys aren't afraid to challenge him.
We beat the shit out of him every time he was on.
So, and I like hearing that. It's great radio.
He tries to talk over all of us with the blah, blah names and stuff, and as soon as you slow the fucking guy down, he starts stammering. Way worse than I do, by the way.
Well, I mean, call him out on it, you know?
We did. And we did recently. Yeah. We banged holes through his latest horse shit.
Get his opinion on this. I'd love to hear him on the show with...
He blew it, I'm telling you.
But
he had a nice little gig, but he sucks.
I want to see
enough with Alex Jones.
The pictures because I want to see them. Honestly, I really do want to see them. I believe them.
What is he saying about the picture thing?
Oh, he's.
I can't wait to hear that one.
I haven't even.
Make sure we get that audio.
But it's I want to see them because I want, like Ant said too, I want to see a hole in his fucking disgusting head. But I know they exist. I really do believe it. In my gut, I believe that they exist. It's coming from too many sources, and even the Arab world is accepting it, like the majority of them. But those news agencies would love nothing. You telling me Al Jazeera would love to embarrass the United States and find proof that he's alive?
Oh yeah.
Every single militant Islamic person would love to do that, and the bottom line is his own family is saying he's dead. He's dead.
And don't kid yourself, we will see the picture eventually.
Yeah, maybe.
It might be years at this point. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, right in time for the election.
If that's the truth.
It might take years, but we will see it eventually.
I hope you're right.
Because someone will have a copy that just fucking thinks they trust somebody else. That's how it all works.
Yeah.
There's a doctor on the phone before we take a break. You know what? I don't know. She says she's seen the photo.
She has not.